get go live yet?
It is right now. I got a problem a little bit earlier.
Nghĩa is in.
各位法友，大家早安，大家午安，大家晚安。好，我们现在要准备开始看见尼玛加称仁波切所跟我们讲的共齐正法一义第10讲的中文直播。
This is similar.
나오나.
This is inside.
좀 살아라. 컴퓨터 지금 말해라.
The mandala is ready.
Yeah, so let's start with our wonderful teaching today. Again, Tashidele KHENCHEN, Tashidele Kempola. Good morning, good evening, everybody around the world. To start the teaching, we will do the mandala, the mind mandala offering.
Hoàn toàn giải thoát khỏi những ràng buộc của chân và huyễn, siêu vượt danh tự và các tướng của sinh diệt và trụ, siêu vượt đến và đi, lấy và bỏ. Mạng Đà La tối thượng chính là cảnh giới tâm nguyên sơ. Chúng con xin dâng cúng tất cả và qua đó nguyện chúng con sẽ được gia hộ để đạt đến cảnh giới Phật. Completely liberated from the bounds of real and unreal, transcending the names of attributes of arising, cessation, and abiding, coming and going, affirmation and denial. Supreme Mandala is the natural state. By offering it, may I be blessed to attain the state of Buddhahood. Om Guru Devada Kini Ratna Mandala Pratisa Soham.
산진 주당 초진 종남 라이 장정 반도 다네 접선 다게 진소 진비 초남 진 롤라 펜지 산진 주버쇼 산지 주당 초 종남 라이 장정 반도 다네 접선 진 다게 진소 진비 소남지 돌라 펜지 산지 주버쇼.
Until awakening, I take refuge in the Buddha, Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. By the merits of generosity and other good deeds, may I attain Buddhahood for the sake of all sentient beings.
Mai namga dan nyambe simjen tamje dewa dan dewe judan dembran churu donghe dan donghe che judan chewaran churu donghe mebe dewa dan mandrawaran churu je nyuren chadan nina tarwe dan nyamla nebran churu je mai namga Nyambe simjen tamje dewa dan dewe judan dembra juru ji dunghe dan dungre ji judan chevra juru dunghe mebe dewa dan mender vara juru ji nyeren chodan nyedan char danyam la nebra juru ji.
May all mother sentient beings, boundless as the sky, have happiness and the causes of the happiness. May they be liberated from suffering and the causes of suffering. May they never be separated from the happiness which is free from sorrow. May they rest in equanimity, free from attachment and aversion.
Chanze wadan chujen shabadan jisu yerang gushen surwa ye gewa jungse dagi jisa tamche zobe janchu chenpur.
Whatever slight virtues I have accumulated through prostration, offering, confession, rejoicing, beseeching, and requesting, I dedicate it for the sake of complete enlightenment.
Saji beju joje me do zhang zhe lin xie nie de jin ban de san jie xin de me de pu wai zhe ge nam dai xian de zhen ber shu gu sun yong zuo la me zuo nam la qian na san sum de xin ni jin Da le long ju nang se yong xie la men cho gi ngu zhe zhe de so wang ge ren de wan zha gen ne ren na men zhe la war de za so
The ground is sprinkled with water, and it's adorned with the Meru, the Supreme Mountain, the 4 continents, and the sun and the moon, the Buddha field. I offer it. May all sentient beings attain the happiness of Buddha field, the 3 kayas. I offer the outer, inner, and sacred offerings.
Samjian namje samba da lo yin che da che de che chon de mo te ba ye che jen ko lo go do so
Please turn the wheel of the Dharma of the greater and lesser vehicles and the teachings come under both according to the disposition and mental capacities of sentient beings.
Kanshi Guru Chandun Jesu Rangshen Kara Gava Lento Ranzebe Kaju Rinpo Che Jiva Nambra Tawe Chenchen Chenlap Je Chujun Jesu Chenpe Yandrase Meshi Chenpam Jasyo Yenwa Lenje Drive Duje Chenma Mebe Lama Thamba Namla Chan Zarshen Choda Jibun Jiva Chenje Labran Zedo So Dojin Chenwa Delo Narvat Marme Tabo Pajin Jiden Gaden Samden Zawe Lame Sho Zaju Lama Yedam Ju Song La Surwan De So Da Ju Chenje Lo Chenze Nga Da Tenpa Zo Sanje Kandur Mongo Barden La Marashi Tukji Ran Shen Tarbe Lam Domba Yung Se Shinye Nang La Guja Zara La Da Lame Mam Je Wangbo Dang Jajin Lo Zo Shu Je Cho La Che Wa Che Ban Sanje Sonra Rabdo Shi Jen De Wen Ju Jirwa Te Dan Che Je Tambe Chunyen Barayan Drishi Shi Namkada Nyambe Sanje Tamje Tamdo Tabja La Name Ba Yang Dabra Zobe Sanje Je Kumba Tamba Jine Jang Tobra Cha Di Che Do Sonra Nambra Tabala Surjindu Jubra Jiwa Nyambe Samba Chanchun Chodo Lebra Sandam De Sembra Shu Telandre Kanjik Sembra Chewe Chuni 네, 나 담배주 공부집에 용 되니다. 쇼를 집에 가고 임바래.
So again here with the motivation to benefit all other sentient beings, to attain the Buddhahood, listen to the teachings with the mode of right motivation. And today now we're going to talk about the teachings on the GONGCHIG.
다 담배주 공부집에 용대 드네다 칸레지레 송용도 자네 제단게 드네 질레 세고와 다 낭배기 가당 땡주 탐체단 튠바레 질레데 근데 질레 가려 요래 송용도 자네 제단한테는 남준 산제게 까이나인다 드네 진중케베 땡주이나인다 라메 맹아이나인다 탐제대 드네 샤스트레스야기 레저기 맹게 토네 줄 배주제 용도 자네 최바당 쪄바서야 된대기 연대 니당 덴바든지 지레 송거와 안 최바스는 송용도 자네 드네 가당 땡주 맹아 칸제지 인양 텐테게 가된 맹아 텐조기 텐솔라 테네 나랑 저기 퇴바 삼바 곰바 테네지 제바 이나 테네 디톱지 나랑 저 줄을 유베 테네 녀몽바 단되차 시당 디몰라소베 녀몽게 리용 조조바테 파 쥐버체바 로완 쥐버체바 아 텐두 질레 텐데지 녀몽베 다탐제바 쥐버체바 테네 텐데게 가다 텐주 맹아 텐솔라 투섬 곰숨 제네 나주 줄을 유베 녀몽베 다오탐제바 메브르조토바 쥐버체토바 텐데지 총아이나 테네 디왕기 질 코로와당 제브르도 년송게 내라 소바네야 쥐버체바 텐데게 질레 상용그레 스테인두산에 최바당 쥐베 연대 니더 템바트레 지레 송도와 어티나신도 전에 테네 담주 공바지베 용대양 테네 주주 연대 니당 데마다 텐데지 차용구요레
And when we talk about the GONGCHIG, so like if we are asked, how is the activities or the activities of the GONGCHIG, then it is stated that all the teachings of the Buddha and also the commentaries, the scholars, were all condensed together, and it comprises all the teachings of the Buddha and the scholar and the followers thereafter. And for this teaching, the teaching of Buddha and also the teaching of the followers of the Buddha, which is known as Shastra in Sanskrit, it has two qualities. One is to like modify, or one is to cut, which means like cheva and cheva and cheva, which means one is to change or transformation, which brings transformations, which means to, and another meaning is to cut something. So these two meaning, how it defined is that when we do first listening, then contemplation, and then meditation, after that what happens is it brings the changes within ourselves, changes within oneself. And at the same time, after doing this kind of practice, listening, contemplating, and meditation, then from this, it also cut our the ignorant, three kind of ignorant. And also it protects us from going to the unfortunate lanes. So therefore, these two things, one is like the modifying or transformation, or one is the cut. So therefore, the true quality is how it comes about for the meaning of the GONGCHIG. That's all.
다 데네 단단데 다 텐데게 체주 당 덴바 스나인다 칠레던 덴베 데네 숑 다상본딜라 데네 나랑서 다지 탄다 체바다 냠바 다든데 지라 슈데르와 데네 텐데긴 체바다 냠발라 슈바데양 지르드네 산제기 가당 덴줄라 첸년전에 다지 슈야게 거가브라와도 빼 마세베드네지 깔와상보 임바 수능 첨부 임바 텐데지레 강에서나 좀 대상이랑 소다지 투수인데 배 상승만 보고 지기 투수지로와 초진의 선호다나 빼나 변주르게 열지에서거나 저소 열지 긴남반로 지레 초진의 선호다와이나 tene yarje tegi je de ngarang su me ke sem go ro tende yin du zan tene chela pe shu chen bo yu kap ji re de yin na ya tene ji tende gi chela chen bo yu ge kap la tene ya ji tende gi chue ge to la tene she ya da nya ya ge ko kap chung wa de tene pe ma se be so nam chen bo dang kar wa san bo tende ji re de bar wa pe na ngarang su ji ten to ne pe sha wa yin na lega pe tela chimboji tene lega kale khaboji je devegi parur tena tene je kalaji shimboji lulu jina sayaji chungwa inaya tadi ngone kokab yabon ro jiling munjin jego urwa tin najin yu zane tene nganzo tandegi tusun de nangla tene yang ji chun de ji tone xieya ge kokab dang nyaya ge kokab chungwa de da sonum chimbo yimba jiling munjin wada chebe tone ten tandang ngarang zo da xuya ndegi tene chum jibe nane da dorsong jungni pade tene xuya tene jigre estring
Now here the text is this kind of the quality which comprises of this kind of quality, and we are having this opportunity generally in the teachings of the Buddha. So it is so fortunate that we are having this opportunity like in this very busy and very turbulent situation we have here. Usually we are in a very highly developed, in a condition, very developing condition, and everybody is very busy, and and somehow we have to follow up the business by ourselves. And in this kind of very difficult, very busy situation, it is very fortunate to have this opportunity. For example, like even if we are having a good meal after a very busy schedule, so we would take it as it's a fortunate to have this kind of opportunity. In the same way, so since we are having this teaching here, and which comprises of this kind of quality, and I think it's very important that we should know that this is a very fortunate time for us, because in this very busy schedule we are having this opportunity. Last word. And now we are going to talk about the 12 Vajra verses of the vital point of Bodhisattva vows.
Tandi kapsu karasum barasana tene chungni pathege diban namsum nyumong tibarchi songdawa ta diban namsum songde zane namjung anzo taji yungge pecha tenso nala karasum yungre sengdu tenganzo dibasaya kechaji yungre jidan dibasa de karasisana tsik purangi tendan rawachina misalwa sewun tong mchungken 지 내수를 가려이나 된 통화를 집어라 까 된ken지를 디바세요. 이 인도 단다 디바세인데 가려라 디데요서나 되는 내용 통화를 디버치바 세요다. 내용 통화를 디버치바. 내용 가는 통고 그래서는 내용 동반이 내용 준대게 된들 다 디니레데 군수비 돈의 셰바이는 내용대 준대게 된들들에 단당무 돈의 셰바이는 내용대 동반이 있어야 되래. 덴도 내루 니보테 소소마레 동바테 덴드 준데레 준데 덴드테 동반이게 라신레. 이인도 다 덴데게 내루테 데네 지금 통화를 제발라 딥denken 지거든 디바스나 송고로 왔다는데네. 이지도 덴데게 디바텔라다 남준 용게 빼잖아 가르 송바르스나 지 디바 타라게 토는 맹카가가 카숨 레빙 거요다. 디바 타라 토는 맹카가 숨 레빙도 자네 레기 디바 세야지 소는 거 레딥 세야지. 데네 뇨모베 디바 세야지 소는 거요래. 데난신도 시제 디바스나 덴데게 디바 카숨 로징은 레빙 거요와. 디치류다 텐소 토라 지금 대세자 당당 문진나다 근데 디스데서 만다와 용수이레데 단단 데네지 된 송고 촌 노르드바이나 다 디바숨 세야데 맹게 돈에 거지 가가가 같은 데지 차 송아래 타라게 돈에 맹테레지 따와래데 대형게 차네 탐지 영몽바 임바 지버레 송바르다 양메나 뇌차당 뇌차단 제와 양메나 셰당당 셰당단 제와 양메나 띠무당 띠무단 제denke 띠인두 뇨몽게 짜웨게 심데바지 임발라 참마 지버레스 디지도 자네 드네 디바숨 수데 양치 카셰게 삼바이나 뇨몽바 마임베게 디바지 예바 근데 삼시기레스 근데 마레스 nyumongpa tela chawa raba la sobe tone tene menka mandawa sum tene ji chungres o tendu jiban nam sum nyumong jibra chigi se tesongre.
The 12 Vajra verses of the vital point of the Bodhisattva vows, the 3 obscurations are the same in being the afflictive obscurations. Generally in the text, when you talk about the obscuration means to obscure, which can make you obscure to see the things and events and the reality. And usually if you go deeper in it, if you go further in, then further deeper into the meaning, then it is known as, which can obscure us to see the reality, ultimate reality of the emptiness. And there are like things like the reality of emptiness and the reality of the causes and effects, the dependent nature of causes and effect. So whatever we say, whether it's causes and the nature of causes and consequences, or whether it's emptiness, the nature of causes and causes and the like consequences are also emptiness, and emptiness is also like the causes and conditions. So therefore, this is known as how it is obscure us. And when you talk about the obscuration, there are differences in their terms. There are 3 different kind of terms, like in terms of the grosser level and the subtlest level. So for example, we have been saying like the obscuration of the actions, the karma, and the obscurations of the afflictive emotions or ignorance, or the afflictive or the obscurations of the knowledge. There are 3 different kind of things comes like this. So whatever it is in 3 different kind of the classification, what the Lord Jigten stated is that whatever it is, these are all because of the ignorance coming about. And whether it is like afflictive ignorance, or whether it is the karmic ignorance, or whether it's the knowledge ignorance, these are all because, for example, like we have a attachment, and we have a hatred, and we have a ignorance there. Whatever all these obscurations, these are all related to the ignorance. So therefore, Jigten stated that obscuration are the same in being the afflictive obscurations. That's all.
Oh yeah, that any deal what and dorsum that you some better. Take a carson person. Chini to pay to them the material say Sundo. Then the Pecha several on the GONGCHIG.
Campbell singing, a camera singing the charge. All the and this one.
Yalas. Tangzun the Dorson Dirawa Chupade. Chini Trumpe to them the material say at this one. Ting to San in D. Zawan de la, that things I'm going to each as Sarva Sangman and Chini Trupes like Laina Tandangan Jung Chunzug and La Tane GONGCHIG Zawa Pinning Jidoa Tinala Chini Trumte somebody, Tindu Trumta say at the Yagusare. Teach it on a candle, Chini Trumte to them the material said. Then this song do Zane Karisongers and Nanson Namju Mang Chawachigi, that Namba Yinkin. Nambegi teneji dajugi gone geja xie xingken samutang xingken mangchewaji kare samgyorisna tangone nelung tartubaji tobra chevala 우메기 춤탄저지 야나 착칭기 춤탄저지 야나 조칭기 춤탄저지를 때네 내로도 또 두그레 삼백이 삼무지 용으로와 가주반적으로다 착칭기 땅문에 다루고 내로 또 두그레 나주 가주기 춤타디 자제첨부가 다직 다루지 춤타지에서네 된저기 로직제네 계제지 시기론 저 시지자비래 대난신 변한 조칭바 대난신 오마바 너는 라랑 소소기 지 소소기 라메 송자과 야나 소소기 직배톤에 니데바 다 텐제지기 드네 텐제지라 때네 드네 딱 문에게 내로듯이 또 두그레 삼만다고지 근데 섬나 샤용거요와 대응도 장매기 롱어에 내드 덴바이 난조도 문에 삼만다고지 단 내는 지된 송고 가르송 바르스나 저랑 되네 섬게 토라 저랑 게 삼로 나라 네 tum다데 우마인 근데 인자 우메 tum단 들을 때네 그런 다르고 내로도 또 두그레 단지 공도 쉬가 준제기 땐들이나인다 내로 동반이나인다 다 대소데 네 tum단 들을 때는 또 두그레 선 소소게 tum다들라 지 셴반도지 지기로와 티는 지된 송고송나 된제기 셴바되기 내로 또 두고 말했어 내로 된담베 덴바들 dim로레스 점생 가르스나 지단 tum타세야 돼 난좀 디지로와 로게드네 삼로당당다고 지리 지단 레저게 깨라 tum타세야 들라더니 니유를 송도 레저게 깨게 돈에 니유사래 지라 가르스나 시덴다 세야지 당 지라더니 다르샤 세야지 니유를 송도 디인도 강다량 아직 된제기 tum되게 끼도 가리 유는면은 주 벽에 돌시에도 툭 타세를 가르쳐서는 소소기드네 롱올라 다 소소기 지 퇴바체 삼바체 줌생나 삼노 땅에 다 롱을 지 두빙으로 왔단데 문에래 삼만로지 헬란 타직든 젠데 받을 좀 타세요래 스탄지든 좀 대송거래 인도 텐데긴 짐바데기 내로부터는 dim로래
Now, the 13th verses, all the tenet systems obscure the ultimate truth. In the recent, text, like in the new version, it is stated that like they accomplish or obscure the ultimate truth. And if you look at the older version, it is stated that the tenets system. So this is right, and we have to follow this the older version, which means about the Drumta means the system or tenet system. So what it means here is that usually all the practitioners or the scholars, we have a kind of grasping to our own like ultimate the resolutions. For example, kind of resolutions or kind of tenets. For example, here somebody can say that I am the Umapa. Umapa means the middle way follower. Or if you talk about the Kajipa, we will say we are the Chakchenpa, means we are the who follows the Mahamudra. And also there is a saying like a Dzogchenpa, the perfections, the great perfections, practitioner of great perfections. And we all have an individual kind of grasping to one's own ultimate resolutions. We have resolved that, and we think that this is the only thing, and we attach to it and resolve that this is the only thing we can realize the ultimate reality or the ultimate understanding. So for example, we can say that I am in our mind, we have this kind of thoughts that I'm Umapa and the way is the only perfect one. and this kind of grasping is there. So what Lord Jigten stated is, if we have this kind of thinking or thoughts or consigns, then it will obscure. It will not help, rather it will obscure you to see the reality. For example, in the Sanskrit version, for this, the tenets, there are two words. One is known as the Siddhant, and one is also known as Darshan, which also means the same thing. Like both of them means the same, like tenets or systems. For example, we attach to our systems and we get, we're stuck here. So we don't get reality because we have this kind of ego coming up and we're stuck here and we think this is the ultimate reality. Whereas the Jidism stated that if we have this kind of grasping or this kind of notion that our tenets or our system is the only perfect one, and this is the only thing, then it means it will obscure you to understand the reality. Then rather than helping for your growth or your practice, it only obscures you. So that's why Jiten Sumit said that all the tenet systems, whatever it is, all the tenet system, whoever holds the tenet systems, then it becomes the obscuration of the ultimate reality.
차친 강가마 통수 망보 쉬는 게 여러와 근데 차친 강가마는 주신 텔로백인 송도와 근데 따지 배 들어와라 개바 도델란 개바 근데 응원발란 개바 하게 용만 개바 오다 근데 전에 근데 지 소소라는 소소고 오다 지 중탄적으로 지 롱을 진네 근데 지 시에네 소소라는 소소고 중타진 진대바이나양 텐데게 좀다 되게 요새 찾아진 분내로 듬도레스 그러봐 강의에서는 먼저 디바스 시에나 마시에나 디바스야티 인주 생분 남도지로 생분 남도당 제외기 박차지래 내 마인버 디바 강의가 말와 대인도테네 둔대긴 진바데 생분 남도지래 뭐네 좀다데 상부인 이행그 좀다데 다직 대해서 너라 요래 서면도 고 장행기 론도지 차로로 띠인도 전에 된다단디 장행기 로 되게 되네 내로를 dim도 그래스 근데 인자 일주진 텔로바나다 가지고 고마 탐지에게 소야돼 지고한테 지기 차기서래 된데 인도 전에 누마트네 제주 물라라 로마지기 간지 쉬러 저런 좀다 가린스 배역에 나가더니 이제 줄로 참만하다 좀더 왔어. 가시 오마바이, 가시 조신바이, 가시 차신바이스네 좀더 만분도 왔어. 저런 좀더 가래인스도 나를 좀더 매스는 송도. 대인도 전에 좀더 매 송야기 좀 생각하서는 소소기 로깅 몰아 줄 저셔베기 네 좀더 내지 세야기 짐바지 매시부터와 된대기 짐바지 요처와이나 근데 내로 타도바도 또 말해스 어떤 송바티 인도산에 단다제된 송은 그냥 진이 튼태 된담된바 dim도그래 제가 대송을
Usually most of us, we study like kind of the Ganges of Mahamudra, and also there is a like kind of, for example, we have been stating in this general statement, people make themselves as make an assertion for themselves that he is the expert in this sutrayana, he is expert in the like Avidhama, or he's expert in the kind of Shila, or the practice of the vows and so forth. There's so a lot of systems that which we can grasp on it. And what the Tilopa used to state it that in the church, the Ganges of Mahamudra, is that if you have this kind of grasping, this kind of the concept, then it will obscure to see, obscure to realize the clear light of the Mahamudra. So, because see, this kind of grasping, this kind of systems, which you grasp on it, is actually this. It's also the concept of the mind, whether it's good or bad or whatever. So therefore, what the Tilopa stated is that if you have this kind of grasping, then you would never reach to the point ultimately you can enlighten, because you get stuck there in this kind of concept. And even the Milarepa, when his disciple asked Milarepa, what is your ultimate realizations of the system or your tenets? Then Milarepa stated that I have no any like a system, or I have no tenets at all. And the ultimate tenets, why? Because if you still have a grasping for the ultimate tenets or this kind of thing, then it means that you are still in the concept, which means you have to go beyond the concept. Therefore, the Lord Jesus Sumit stated that all the tenets systems obscure the ultimate reality. Vasu.
Yeah. Atene take ola durjisung 주지바 테르도 주지바데 그래서 말씀은 년투 지전 내로 초징 통세야다 디도지 송데 임바레 대인도 단대야 공기도 되는 저와 첨부지래 간에서는 강도 되네 소소라 되네지 준다 세야지 롱을 주지 종샤바이나 텔라 때네 젠탐젤로 노르와 임바지 선은 땅인 거요 이지도 전에 되네 간조 남준 우메게 따릅시에 용도 전에 가시에게 다시 년투게 준다되기 내로 또 마토반로지 년투게 준다라 슈바이나 배제되지 람 노르와지를 렙데바나 진지 선은 땅거요 남수 준다데 덴바이 콘소 준다데 노르와레세야 선은지 레빙으로와 다 담단 제네 송고긴데네 준다세야긴 젠바지 요사와이나 노르와 임바 지바레 세야지 계자지 송거로와 디인디 전에 다 텐데기 좀 생각되네 년투 텐속이 내로 자원에 또 마토바텐데 말레스 년투기 되네 쿠란 쪽이 지다 제우토비알라 가르또 구유바 가르빵 구유바 차차마지 빵와당 또마 요레스 근데 인도산에 년투 남중 안조다 지 춤타 예세드 년투 제라 마와 년투 노데바세야 근데 춤타 용구로와 인도산에 텐데기 춤타 텐속이야 내루기 초도 또도 요레스 내루 초직 또 투레스 또 투스도 전에 콘조기 준다 텔라테네 때또 봐좀님 리얼때 tindu nelu togu yore shibu tenada nelu cha chama ji to tu ma te ta te se gang ko ji wangbo gi rimba tang oda tende gi chebar ji yong re de ina nelu chawan ma to ma res nintu ge jan nelu cho ji to tu yore se te song bare
Now the 14th Vajrayosis. The listener also see a limited portion of the actual reality. What it means is, usually, like we state that, this is my conclusion, and this is the only perfect one, and we disregard the other people's conclusion or like understanding. So what it means is it is related to the 13th Vajrayosis. It has some relation with the 13th Vajrayosis. And what it talks about is like, for example, even if you are a listener, on the path of listener, then you have your own kind of conclusion. And they think that their conclusion is the perfect one, the ultimate conclusions. And as we have here, the 4 different kind of tenets. And even if you talk about the tenets of the lowest tenet, then there comes like a Shravak and also the Sutrayana. So, and what it means here is Lord Jigdan stated that all has their own tenets, all has their own conclusion, and they have this a portion of the understanding. They have a portion of knowing the reality, though they don't have the holistic view, but they have the portion of understanding of the knowledge. But it doesn't mean they have a whole in itself. Usually what we say is when we talk about the Shravakayana, we look down, we look at laser vehicles and something like laser vehicle, and we take ourselves as the higher vehicle. And Lord Jigdan stated that there must be differences in terms of the faculty and sharpness, but somehow we are all in the same classes. Why? Because we are all making the same mistakes, because we all hold the same kind of grasping to the conclusion of our own. Therefore, if you hold this kind of conclusion, we are the highest one or greatest one or whatever, then they are the lowest, whatever. Lord Jigdan said that it doesn't make any sense, because we all falls into the same category of what? Tenets, systems, and holding to that. If you hold that, then you would never get to the ultimate realization. Loss.
Tan diang azu jumchen karsan tango resna penam ngarang son ro chi gi julam ta ngarang so sna chamala chi wa ma wa tan din la yo chama chi wa singe chi me ta de pen nga da nga ro chi din de tenje chi gi ton san ta yo de sane nganso pa pen na che gi ngu bo la pa ta yo de sane zu da te ro ri ja kare la ta wa ina ya tan zo chama de ya bo ina ngarang gi sem na wa la ya bo jin na wa ina 야부 임바 문에 덴바이 삼베 로지 제용도 계시 나랑게 나와라 때 누부 임베 전화지 중소에 있는 때 문에 두자래 삼베기 내 당지 타 제로로 가서는 난줄로데 베 덴젠 슈체차네 디시도 자네 드닝 난줄로 나라 남주 7월 누부 죽다고 지라 파다 용도 자네 라바지 덴반젠도 요로와 문에 제나 죽 첨보세야 돼야 고 충충 망고 직주 좀발라 때네 죽 첨보서 다제 버리 마도베 문에 죽 첨보서야 돼 코랑 죽기 급지기 제게 돌아 삼지 땅 송아이나 그 죽 첨보서야지 패신 힘 말와 이나양아랑 줄로기 죽도 그 첨보 라바진 젠도 요래 디나 신도 간소드네 나랑 쪽에 매체기 준나 삼 땅아이나 가산테 드랭기 나데 임바 대랭게 나데 산이데 임바마도 먼저 깨지긴 저와 TV 요베가 촌나는 간저 제 연구만도 답에지 나닝게 로레 달로 로라 나티에스 저와 팀도세 텐데게 촌나지 용시기를 마도베 먼저 베나 까차레레네 까마레레네 추추레레네 든타레레네 패친 저와 TV를 삼야가 저와도 연구만도 나랑 솔로 또 삼로 텐데게 덴센 슈치모지 요로와 이내 년투기 강사 년투기 tum타 된적이 텐데기 라베응보당 준기응보 단 나닝다 탈로세야 그 준지기로와 된적 탐제에 주마임바 정신기 마르바 된적이 남주 좀 고거당 되요바 텐데기 내당지 군속인 첸로요데 대인도 전에 텐데 인상 제된 송기 년투기 내로 초진 통그르다스 대마도 오 난소 태진 군조 년퇴바래 군조가 내로 그냥 하고 말했어야기 텐데게 사무지 유서와 있는 노르타레스 대인도 전에 군조가 그잡고 그래 군조가 따와텔은 난조게 물린 제고 그래 군조가 따와텔은 난조게 냠린 제고 그래 어때인도 전에 년퇴제자 내로 초전 통세 텐데 송고에서래
As for example, it's all same actually. I'm not saying same in the sense we're all same. I mean like the person who are same as to me, like who has the same kind of understanding as in the same. For example, when we talk about the form, the sound, the smell, taste, and so forth. For example, if we were like pleased by this kind of the feelings of the outer object, like form or sound or feelings, then we think this is really a good thing there, outside there. Whereas in actually it's not. And some people who feel bad about it, and they think this is bad. But whereas for this like object, there's nothing such like which is good and bad. Because it's because of our grasping, strong sense of holding that this is good and this is bad, and it comes about. For example, even if you talk about the big form or big, what do you say, the body, or these are all because there's nothing outside there, the big form or big body. It is because of the dependent upon the small and big, then we can take it as a bigger body or a smaller body, dependent upon that. So, for example, even if you think about our life, we never know yesterday. We think yesterday of me is today. It's me, the same thing. We might be having some kind of little understanding about last year and this year. We can see some change of last year and this year, but it's very difficult to understand, difficult to realize or understand the change of momentarily, moment from moment and momentarily. And here, Lord Jitendra stated that all these Shravakayanas, most of them has a greater understanding of the momentarily change. They have a greater perspective. They have a better understanding of the momentarily change. And they know this change, all this moment to moment, holding to grasping for the strong sense of holding to our form and body are all illusory body. They know that, they see that. So that's why it is stated that they see some kind of, they see the portion of it, the reality, the nature of reality, the portion of it, they can also conceive it, they can also understand that. Therefore, we have to respect for their system, we have to respect for their understanding, we have to respect for their all this kind of knowledge. So it means that they also hold some kind of understanding. It doesn't mean we look down upon them and they know nothing about it. Because if you, even in terms of these, they also have some knowledge. That's all.
Yeah. 다 되네 되게 올라 되는 데 송도 다 돌지 송 정아바 되게 사중면 체년랑 투몽대 소야데 다 대양 단다 공당 tum바 쟁두 제단 변나 닌투 세우로 다 대라 카세 요레스나 줌타 게 돈에 닌투 세야지 틱베게 돈에 닌투 세야 니용 거 요레 다 티니게 제버런로 조 가르스나 변나 퓨섬게 돈에 조 줌타 심난 게 닌투 된줄라 닌투 줌타 와서게 용라 롭종체 퇴바체 삼바체 된제게 돈에 야 다둑 진댕게 닌투 요로 되는 닌투 줌타 와서게 다양 지 퇴바다 삼바체바 짬마서 다동 조 당매게 된당 어tenso 곰네 냠내나네 야 팸종 겐게 닌투 된줄라 태바게 닌투 세게 지난 닌투 되라 줌타게 닌투 태바게 닌투 세 카니 용을 남지 대인도 단지 공기 돌송 대기 tumtal 내배 닌투 tenzo 그냥 내룩 초진 통그레서야 대송바 단지 강대 나 단단되게 택발 내배 닌투 tenzo게 가세 또 그래서는 tenzo배 또반 통보 열다 송거래 가세 열에서는 장추 sem바 사 두번 민체당 년한게 또바데 나 투몽게 또반로 오지 차인 거 열에스 대인도 사두 민체 년한 투몽 대서야 대송바래
Like the 15 Vajra verses, the sixth and lower Bodhisattva states are common for the listener and self-realized Buddhas. What it means here is when you talk about the like tenets There, and also when you talk about the like Shravakas, there are two Shravakas that comes in. One is depending upon the tenets. For example, like who did the listening to the teachings and also contemplate it, and one who holds their all tenets. This is also known as the one who holds the tenets. And the one is that on top of that, the another one is that who on top of that, who mainly realize the selflessness and also contemplate on it, and also they meditate on it, and which could able to grasp like kind of, so like there's no like such kind of selflessness. And this kind of two things, there are two kind of Shravakas. One is the kind of the tenets, and one is kind of the practicing, after practicing it and after holding this one. So this the second one is a little higher than the previous one. So this one, the later one, is also as the same status of the Bodhisattva, which abides in the six bhumis, six ground. So they have the same kind of quality or realization. So therefore, what the Jitism study is that the sixth and the lower Bodhisattva stage are common to the listener and realize the self-realized Buddhas. So this is how we have to look to them, and we have to respect for their understanding and their knowledge. This is very important.
Tati Indusan di Chida Karasumbares Tiba Chimbu Gitane Chanchu Samba saying the Zane Tanamju Cholam Tang Jolam Tane Sa Tangbone Sachiwapala teaching Chanchu Sambegi Lam Sa Sungwirwa. That Jung Chane Tiba Chimbu saying do Kasan Kondo Sumba Nanjinre Tiba Chechung Chebra the Simji Sumbarwa. In the Tiba Chimbu Simji the Ginyamne Dan Dedan Derek Tone Chanchu Samba Dan Energy Nientudana Sanje Tenson Dajina Chanchu Samba Jachewa Yungurwa Samlo Gulung Jachewa Chasun the Zane Ne Nyamlangers but Jachewan do Yungure Tin Zane Sangmege Chana Tumu Sungu That and then the Satuba dance Pardu Yana the Tumu Sunyate Yang Topegi Rik Chochine Muin Sungu Doric Chochigitone. Teyan Doric Chochiba Sun Duzane Dilates Shikandro Carriers and GONGCHIG in Jawa Kaganala Sangaba Pardu Nintuna Tumun Soyaji Satuba Pardu Ranger the Tumun Stikija Sungure. A Karigitone Tumunre Tumun Kandigitone Penna Shoptu Ni Doji Yubainam Shoptu Ni de Shopjong Tumun Kunigala Tumung Lobjong Ji Chorua Kuniga Tumung Lobjong de Pena Angzin Doji in Chore Titola Tumung Main Begi Yang Lobsen de Kunikaga Yuchore Dinashin Chiduzane Tandandene Sangaba Pardo Nintu Tumure Swan de Careton Tumure Sunduzane Denjigi Nelu Tola Tinimonegi Toba Yabu Yuba Denjigi Nelu Tobe Toba Yuba Nishi Tembo Yuba That Tendrege Tone Chanchu Samba Sangabegi Jitu Pardu Then Nintu the Tumung Chagres Kainsana Chanchu Samba Sangabawa Tegeyang Denjigi Tona Pe Nishi Cheverjin Yure Nintu Dachomba Inayang Dembajig Tol Moneg Nishi Cheverjin Yube Pabatin the Chigre De Induzane Denjig Toba Tumung Sayaji Sangaba Pardu Then Tiba Chimbu Satubala Nebe Chanchu Samba Tegi Tendri Yana Juni Lasobe Tena Shindunechan Kebatan Toba Puldi Chimbatan de Jures Tina Shindu Ranger Dachumbaton Zogayang Tendri Yana Juni Tenla Nibe Shindun Kebatan Toba Cheverjin Yuba Induzane Tege Chane Tina Satuba Bardu Ranger Tumun Stat Tenea Sat Dumba Jebaina Tene Nyanang Saleya Cho Tamjene de Sarwa Chandu Yure O Tinduzane Tumu Yindang Road Tendation in Sumbare. That turns out the 너디 사주베기 공부래 지다
And here, on the, like, when we talk about the sixth and lower stages to come onto the listener and self-realizing Buddhas, what it means is like, when we talk about the greater vehicles, for example, the Bodhisattva Yana, we talk about the path of accumulation, path of preparation, path of seeing, and so forth and so on. As we have stated that the differences between the greater vehicle and lesser vehicle is the bodhicitta. If you have a mind of bodhicitta, then it differs from the lesser vehicle. And with the bodhicitta, if you do whatever you do, it is extensive. It works in extensive. If you do the same thing, but it's extensive. For example, like bodhicitta, with the bodhicitta you're doing for all sentient beings and so on and so forth. Here, then the question arises, what is the common? You are talking about the lower, lesser vehicle, or the Shravaka Yana also have some portion of it, which is common to the six bodhisattvas and so forth. So what is the common that they have in common? Means like up to the fifth bhumi of the bodhisattva yana, they have the understanding, the perfect understanding of the Four Noble Truths and so forth. The common is like this. For example, it's like if there is like a student, sometimes we talk about the two students, what is common in these two students. So these students are common in some kind of subjects like in maths or whatever. So there is a common, and this is what in the lessons, it should be common in the maths, they're same level in the maths, but they have a difference in some other lessons, something like that. In the same way, here, the up to fifth bodhisattvas and the Shravakayanas, they have a same kind of understanding of the Four Noble Truth, understanding the ultimate reality of the Four Noble Truth, and so forth. And up to sixth, then that is the like kind of Pratyek Buddhas. The Pratyek Buddhas, solitary realizer, have understanding. The common to the sixth bhumi is that they know about the understanding of the 12 links of dependent origination. They have same realization, same state of their mind of understanding of the 12 links of dependent origination. So there's no difference in terms of their the realization of the concept. So therefore, it is stated that up to the sixth, so they have something in common with the bodhisattvas or bodhisattva yanas. And it was stated in the Dashbhumi Sutra. And it is stated in Dashbhumi Sutra. So here it was being in related to the Dashbhumi Sutra. That's all now.
되게 올라 심잠반의 sabdung문도 소면 데려와 단 대양 가르송발에서는 변난가는데 좀다 심잠바서야 지금 그러와 대인도 전에 했더니 지 가시게 소는데 심잠백이 좀다 되기 그냥 파백이 사톱도 말해서 심잠배 좀다 대양 지금 좀다 마완다고 સમ당 그러와 단단 되는 제된 송을 가르송발에서는 심잠바의 가르송발에서는 chanchu simba saddumbegi jitub kabla saddumba toyundu zane Tene korwa dan nyangin debe chu tamche de rangi semge tene pa chirulan nang songa zam mado chirugu tundu juba meba. Deyang benaji tubala tene gowa zam mahimba. Sambala tene nyamnyong zam mahimba. Gombala tene toba chebrajin toba. Tendeji sadunbegi kapsu nishi chebrajin jengres chu tamchepe nawa tamje semgeranshi imba chigla nishi chebrajin yores. Tendegi nawa tamje semgeranshi imbala nishi jengdu zane tendegi netangde tokse de sug do yorosana 제가 줌태 돈을 쓰는 동안이나 줌다 심장반 남제 양 걸와단 양에는 대비 치유 탐제데 랑게 심 로스 주바 매바지 송도와 스테인도 전에 심장바스도 전에지 줌다 노르와지당 텐데기 줌다 대기 내로자와는 못도바나지 쓰는 동이요 말에스 사든베 지투기 문도당 심장병 문도라 테니베 도바 자와던데 용그레서 대송바래
The 16 Vajra verses, the upholder of the mind only have the clear realization of the 7 stages. So what it means here is usually we have understanding that when we talk about the mind only school, we don't take it as a like an Arya or Pakpa or Arya. So we look down upon them. Whereas the Lord Jesus stated that even the mind only school has the quality which is common to the 7th bhumi, which is on the 7th stage of the Bodhisattva's yana. For example, like when we reach to this kind of that stage, like we take this cyclical samsara, like all samsara are just the mind, not other than its mind. And it's not just the understanding of listening to the teachings, or not, it's not just the knowledge of the meditation, but it is a knowledge, it's a direct knowledge of the ultimate reality, which is of the self-realizations, or the perfect realizations, perfect understanding of that knowledge. And they have this kind of knowledge. And this knowledge is common to that of the 7 bhumis of the Bodhisattva's yana. So therefore, what Lord Jesus will stress here is that we should not look down upon it. For the mind-only schools who practice in the mind-only school, they also have this quality which is common to that of the 7th bhumi of the Bodhisattva's yana. That's all.
하던다 공기 돌송 던도 만데 선호 땅에 산에 다 남중 가서 변하지 좀다 시에서 시로 남발라 좀다 시에서 시에운도 산에 년퇴당 라산제당 심산부 좀다 던조 지 하람 람 너와 임반로지 던데기 좀다 텔라 때네 타르발라서가 더 못해봐나진지 어떤데 상황이 땅인 거예요. 단단내는 지된 순간기 네 공직이 자외기 중난신 진마선 땅인도 전에 좀다시 예세다 좀다시 세번은 년퇴당을 제르다 되네지 되나신 심상바서야게 개차지 용으로와 등수 차상대 되네 가서나 간사기 람게 점배 문도지게 돈에 봐 명다 송한로지 송용도와 뒤송용도 전에 되는 거네지 등소라 가르쳐 그랬는데 소소하게 되네 냠랭기 주름지 임바테 문진지 제투송아 이남 되네 델라 때네 네 좀다든 토그 좀다든 노르세 된데기 따로 돼 모용을 펜사로와 배차제와 있는 건순디 난도 지금 매체기 주름낭라 담봉가 부충충 주주 Tene nga te tala pabe tuzu. Tene tena shindu ya lo chimbo chebe tuzu. Tama gewe ki tuzu ko rimba mangbo lem gurwa. Ti rimba leba te tsangma de ngarangi meche ki rimba yinzang. Tene chung ki rimba de ndrigi mandu sayandro, te norware sayandro, ti samlo de nga legu marwa te. Ti jimsen karsana ngarangi meche ki jurumi yinba nge haku yorwa te. Ti na shin chene tandan di Nintu dan ranjar dan samzamba sayan da zoyan tikba chimbu gi namgi rimbe ngondo dan tumungi paji nyamdo lamrim rawo chigla pa jamru du zane tani oota nintu sayate ndigmandu ranjar sayate nor yore samzamba sayate nor yore sayate tsuwate lepsa marwa karsana tikba chimbu gi kansa gi nyamlengi tani chi jurimgi nangi tokse chigi tone nintu gi tokse ranjarga tokse tekchenga samzamba tokse sayaji lewyung gwerwa. Te tamche de tiba chimbo rangi tokbegi rimba imbaji nye tupsunga ina. Tene tela tene zangyen tang, tela tene chik pang, chik len, tentegi panglang de chimago wala tene pento yongsarwa. O te hindu zane tende tona sungu yosare samsamre.
And here, like complementary to this, the verses, the unfolder of the mind only have the clear realization of the seventh stage. Generally, when we talk about the 4 tenets, we talk about the 4 tenets, that is the like Shravaka, like kind of, the individual, and we talk about the like Shravakayanas, we talk about the like self-realizer, we talk about the mind-only school, then also we talk about the middle way school, the ultimate, the highest one. When we talk about it, what Lord Dickinson stated is that we talk about all these things. It is only actually it comes in the states of our mind. We should think like this. It is a kind of the development. It is a stages of development in one person's practice, on the path of one person's practice, on the path. So we have to think about like this. Otherwise, we may see these all are complicated or complications to each other. So what Dickinson said is there's no complication about it. There's no like these are all interrelated or integrated to each other. How it is integrated is, for example, like when we think about from small child, how we develop our understanding, and when we become youth, then how our understanding develops, and after that, when we become old, actually this is a kind of development, a kind of progress from a small child up to the like old age and so forth. So therefore, all these tenets are not actually contradictory to each other. We should think about these are all complementary to each other, because one have to integrate all this teaching in one person's life. Because first we have to have the stages of the Sravakayana. Then after developing that, you have to go to the like Pratek Buddhayana. Then they come to the like Chit, the mind-only school yana. Then to the Bodhisattva yana. So therefore, what Dickinson said, these are all actually the practice of the greater vehicle. Because these are all kind of steps or the stages of path. One could lead from a very like a ground level, ordinary level to the highest level. And it has to be integrated within one person's lifetime. So therefore, there is no contradiction in it. So if you think about this, then there is no contradiction. Rather, it's very helpful and beneficial for the practitioner. Otherwise, you may think this is higher, this is lower, and the complication comes back. Lasso.
다테네 디 올라들 송 줍된 바테기 다단다 공기든도 줌센레 공도 사주 민진이랑 투모 섬잠바 사든분 원도 유바도 송송 다텐데 인도자네 대다 탐지래야 체버동 파베기 다 티바침부 투몽마인베기 또바데 근데 가도 얘기를 세는산에 다 사제반에 되는 얘기를 세 대송용교를 텐도산에 지단 추게 다음에 봤어야 되나 년토게 또 도비하게 주입 다음에 봐 란저게 또 도비하게 주게 다음에 봐 근데 섬잠반남지 또 도비하게 주게 다음에 봐 다음에 계속 망부용교를 텐솔라 투몽기 주게 다음에 세게 대다 탐지기 또발래야 대백이 되는 또반초 되라 티바침부 투몽마인베기 되니 다 주게 다음에 있어요. 대 가도 또래 생들은 사제반에야 고조용을 송발에 근데 인도변나 장주 선바튼서 사제바토윈도 전에 되는 산제 남지 롱땡기를 단다 너 파치는 같은 송용도 나랑서 변나 다자가 뜸바 샤자 되봤다고 제가 차샤와 있나 뜸바 샤자 되봤대 사제바기 또바 줄에 제베 값수 되네 산제 말멘제기 다 롱땡 나와 콩나 다 주랑 마음 발라 잠불랭도 되네 산제 샤자 되바 세야 지거든요 주랑다 몸으로 상지기래서 롱땡 토빙을 송도와 대인도 전에 네 롱땡 토백이 사들라 사제바세게 롱땡 토백이 좀 센도데 다 티바침부 또바 투모마인 반니송은 좀 생고네 송도와 텐데 인자 주지다면 사제문도 인세야 되래
Like the 18 Vajra verses, with the same realization, one traverses all the stages and path. And what it means here is like up to here, up to the seventh stages, up to the seven stages, we have all the common to that of the Shravakayanas and Pratek Buddha's yana. Like, for example, the realization. For example, the realization of the, like, kind of the selflessness of the phenomena up to the, like, 7th bhumis. But from the 8 bhumis, like, it is stated that the particular, and it is a very special kind of understanding comes up. And what is that is like, and when you reach to the 8 bhumis, and they stated that even the Buddhas can prophesy to have attained in the future, or, you know, to talk about your quality and attain in the future that you will be this and that of Buddha state or like this. For example, even the Buddha Shakyamuni, like when Buddha Shakyamuni was on the 8th bhumi, the Dipankara Buddha has prophesied that in the future, you will become a Buddha Shakyamuni. You will be being born as Buddha Shakyamuni, and you will be benefiting sentient beings, and so on and so forth. Is stated by the Dipankara Buddha when the Buddha Shakyamuni was on the Bodhisattva path, and when he reached to the 8th bhumi. So this is the like a special quality of the 8 bhumis, the 8 Bodhisattvas bhumi. And this is the different from all the rest of the 7th up to the 7th. Lasula.
다전에 대기지라 또바지게 사람 말을 송도 다 또바지게 사람 말을 송도 전에 제단한테 남중 감소 삼론도 지라 chanchu simbe기 다지 사탕부 니바 숨바스는 레그로와 텐두 사탕부네 니바 숨발라소바 텐선도 지나 지 가르세고래 또바 카카카간도지 사탕부라 또바 지니 양데 산니베가서 파 용네 산니발라 또바 사와지니 나 텐데 전에 rimba kone kono doyanda ochila samon tangirwa tanda temane gajuba ge kar songere sana toba chigi ne salam saman ruture songere toba chigi sondu zane tanga zo satangbo ndo ochila chaja wa ina satangbo negapsu tene ta semge nelu ngusum 통화 대란 통남서 사탕보 세계로와 된대게 semge nelu ngusum 통화 되니 양내 양도야 공명도 자네 tene ko komba shu chere chen royondu sa niba dang sumba jiba sen rogo ma do be 단지 사탕부 기 값을 토야게 또바데 파빵네 델레 젬베 또바지 니네 양 로고 말에 스테인도 자네 또바찌기 근데 사단람 탐제된 론도래 송바레 딘두 어디지
So here I have made a little mistake. Sorry for that. Now it's the 18th virtual verses is coming now only. So what I like with the same realization, one transfer all the stages in part. Usually when we have realization, we may be thinking that when you traverse, when you go from one stage to other stage, you leave the other quality and you go on, and again you leave that place, leaving the quality of that place, and it doesn't mean here the same thing. What it means is like what the Jinisman said is you don't have to abandon that quality. For example, if you see the reality of ultimate reality in a direct knowledge, with the direct knowledge, you have this kind of understanding. And when you transform from one place to another, the same realization is there. And this realization goes on from one stages to another stages, and so on and so forth. So therefore, it is stated that with the same realization, one transfers all the stages and paths. So it's not a different, like an understanding of a different realization. It's the same realization which goes from one path to another up to the end. That's all.
Oh yeah. 다테네 데고라 데송도와 사투비연 된종서 모투요 세야다 두르송 줄고바 단 되게 양 베나 사기 림바 사탕부니바 숨발라서 톱연도 자네 그냥 텔라 땡네 지 연된 잠을 텐데 줄에 제야 용거요래 베나 그네 두 깨직마 찌라 산제 자타하게 되네 시행 무슨 제야도 신감 자타라 되는 로토비하게다 누바토비안도 텐데 연된 토비아유바 너데 사주변나 송용거요와 디인디 자네 되는 단다 내내 가르송발에서나 제다 람 냠랭 칭겐게 강사 게 난게 되네지 짜당 롱게 로당당 되네지 왕보 nom보당 뚜르볼라소베 체브르기 저랑 되네 사게 또바 줄에 제대바 이나양 칠로라 연텐텐데데 야지 문줄도 예바다 메바텔라 카먼자와 두요레 송바레 염생 가서나 강사 카시 사토바당람상 사토베겠다 다든다 연den세 땅첸텐조 고그로와 사토베겠다 띠엔도 다른 제마텐조 무수 람상 예바 직 양카시 갈레 토바 띠엔도 연den 직차도 토바 연den 림바신도 토바 네야 연den 카시 무수 마토바 네 테나신도 지 덴데기 연den텐데 톱도 연나양 강사 신경 통 못봐 제안도 되네야 강상 통견양 nenjuruba nang pension chigi chiglan thongwa mato soso chigo yendagen thong matobba zayando ta tende chene sa thobyungdu zane thobege tangsenyam yenden tela tene jungzur mandawa ka chu tende chi yore sende sombare ta nzo de china wachi sa thobyungdu yenden jule che yungure de na jetang mandawa ka chu ndo chi yore stande jumsen karchen songure sana kashege tene 가주 공매기 라마튼도 답에 또반 돈보인 가시에드는 도르진창레 가시에드는 뼈 사침볼은 내바레스 순근도 이내 콘솔라 사토백이 연된트는 간좀 통투문도 콘솔페치 사토바 인사 마레스야 텐데 람게만 뭐 중요름도마 대인도 때는 텐소 교체도 때는 사토바 점지 연된 무슨 간좀 통투 니바요 마레 가인사는 연된 토당들은 먼저와 가 주요래 대송고인데
There are six alternative ways in which the qualities attaining the stages arises. And why it mentioned here is that like when you reach such certain like kind of stages, and then there comes like you are able to visit the Buddha field, 1,000 Buddha fields, or to see the 1,000 Buddha, and you are able to go there because of our like nerves and the practice of the channels and so forth, the different kind of practices and different kind of one's on capabilities, one's on faculties, the sharpness of our faculties and knowledge. And there comes about 6 different kind of like sign or like a sign. So it's stated that some could be able to get a very like a quick kind of knowledge, and some it takes time, even though you are in the like the same state of bhumis. But somehow they can have some kind of understanding of each other. But whereas like individual like us, we cannot see that kind of quality, because therefore sometimes we have been saying like, for example, oh, maybe like he is not really the practitioner because we don't see the sign. And sometimes we say that he's not a Vajradhara, he is not this and he's not that, because we don't see the sign. And what the Lord Jesus will state is that since we are individual beings, we cannot see that quality. In order to see the quality of them, we have to be the same status, same level to their stages. Otherwise, we cannot see that. So therefore, like they have a different kind of like even in their same stage, they have their different kind of realization. Some has a very quick realization, some takes time, and there's like kind of 6 different kind of signs having the qualities. So therefore, it's not access. We are not access to that stage. Lasula.
와야 단데네 드루송 디르다와 카세 니슈바데 이젤람드고 총니 송주 내세야 단 디기 자웨 나라페나 카시에는 내세요 단단 가랑서 베체닝베는 내세야 지진도 대두 카세에서는 이제 가서요 총니 송주도 내바레스 나랑서 줄라 람그 가서요 총니 송주도 내바레 데부 가서요 총니 송주도 내바레 띵도 가두이나양 총니 송도 주바지고레 세 대송바레 띵도 자네 단단디 베나 이제 총니 송주 송도 나랑서게 승그라신 데버리시비 님보테 뭐 동바 인자 이시게 조세게 대야더니 뭐 동바 동장 변남과 동바 나시 마임바 산지기 거당 예시당 연대 탐지랑시 순득도 예바 인자 수능 거 초세 대인자 이제 내가수 되네 이제 내로 동반이당 되네 이제 연대 송도 주바 인자 이제 촌 루스 되네 람게 가서양 수능 거 초당 예시기 초나바니 보때 앞에나 짐바지 따와이나 짐바 따와데 수능 거 초래 텐데 짐바 따와 가서 동리게 따와 차자 진보 그 따외 돈에 짐바 땅 송아이나 예시기 초래 텐데 람게 촌이 송주스 얘는 대우 촌이 송주스 인데 전에 대우 수능 그 초대 가서나 산지 죽고서야 돼 수능 초래 수능 초게 대우 타도 거에 산지 죽고서야 돼 텐데 죽고 수능 그 주구 이식의 조소인 거요. 대인자 대우 가서 꾸니 이는 촌이 송주스 어디인데 전에 이슬람 대승도 촌이 송도 주거든 내발에 대인자 아주 촌이 사베 가서 송죽도 사야라는 배전 지구래서 대송래
The 20 devotional verses, the two accumulations are unified in the path, in the ground, path, and fruition. So it is stated here like unified in the ground, and which abides there. Abides what? The accumulation, the two accumulation should be unified. The two accumulation, there's an accumulation of merit and accumulation of wisdom. For example, these two accumulation, the merits, has to go hand in hand in all the stages. Like, for example, in the ground, the path, and the fruition. For example, in the foundation, the ground, how it is accumulated is that, for example, our nature, our very nature of body, Buddha nature, the very Buddha nature is emptiness, and from this aspect, it is known as the merit of the wisdom. And also during that time, we have like kind of like our own nature of like being goodness and so forth and so on. This is known as the merits of the merits. And it comes like the two merits coming here in the part of foundation or ground. And even when we talk about the path, then, for example, we are giving some kind of like, we are giving something such as like a generosity and so on. And this is known as the merits, which merits of the giving. And also the very nature of giving is emptiness, and this is known as the like kind of merits of the wisdom. So these two wisdom, merit and wisdom, has to be come here in the path, and on the level of the like kind of the fruition in the result state. Like there is a Sambhogakaya. We talk about the Sambhogakaya. This is known as the merit of virtues, and also on the stage of the path, we also talk about the Dharmakaya, which is known as the merit of the wisdom. So altogether, this merit and wisdom, these two merit, accumulation of merit and wisdom, should go hand in hand from the path, from the ground, and also in the path, and also in the stages of the path, and up to the like the Buddhahood or the resultant state. So this all has to be there. So therefore, the two accumulations are unified in the ground, path, and fruition. Last one. So today we can stop here. Stop here.
sonam de tamche zibani tomne nibe danam pamje de jega nanje balong choba seben sol Rowan rover jo lama gungam zamara zorwan de chodu goze jangara zorwan Chile darjen jebra zorwan de lama dan darwa mebra chenje lo jamben bave jadran chemba dan kundo zambo teyan dejin Teta kunje jeso dalo je gewan de da tamje rabdo ngoy sanje gusum nive chenlaut Chunyi minjuru tembe chenlaut dan gende me shin tembe chenlaut je chedrang hujen manlan drombar sho da dan kunde tamje Dusumdo sabada yembe gewe zawande Rada simchen tamje nyurdo lana mebra yanda bra zog Janju rinpoche dobra juru je Jeja genze gunchen chuje je Dan rinne la wang tum de gong Rinchen barje denpa sinten par shiru tu sam gomben zen juru je Chanchu samchu rinpo che ma je pa nam je juru je pa nyam pa me pa yang kong ne kong du pe war jo la so
Thank you so much, KHENCHEN La. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, all the translators to all 6 different languages, including English. Thank you, Kimbola. We'll see you all next week.
la so tini dinta jima keng ta number lenje tsangma
So then we can see the next week, everybody.
Mm.
Thank you, Captain. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the wonderful teaching and the translation.